Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing well. Today, it's time to review Dior Sauvage Elixir, the newest of the Sauvages and the most expensive also by a pretty good margin. Did a first impression on this when it first came out, been giving it a lot of wear since then, and now it's time to give you my full thoughts and let you know where I stand with this one. But if you've seen my top 10 releases of the year, you already know. So let's just jump into it. So first off, let's take a look, as always, at the presentation. So first up, the box. And since this is Elixir and it's special and expensive, it gets a different box than all the other Sauvage fragrances. The other ones have just your typical style box, you know, little flap at the top and everything. But look at this one, it's a little fancier. You have this hard cardboard exterior to the box. You got the name of the house, name of the fragrance on the front there. Little Christian Dior logo up at the top. Nothing on the sides or the back. On the bottom, you're gonna find your batch code, which is 1C05 printed in ink. Also have your ingredients on the bottom there along with your barcode. And it opens up like so. Which I already showed. So your bottle is gonna sit right down inside there, and when you take the bottle out, you see the little Christian Dior B on the bottom of the box there. So it's a slightly fancier presentation than you'll typically find for designer fragrances, more akin to something like a Amouage, where it just opens up like so and the bottle sits there like a little trophy or something. And here we have the bottle, very reminiscent to the earlier Sauvage bottles, only this one is shrunken down. Yeah, it comes in this 2-ounce size bottle as of right now. That's pretty much it. With the other Sauvage fragrances, of course, you can get 100 milliliters or you can get 60 milliliters or sometimes even smaller. You can get 1 fluid ounce, 30 milliliters, or even bigger, 200 milliliters. So you have all these different options and price points with this one. That's it. On the front of the bottle, you have the name of the house, the name of the fragrance, and it kind of dips down right there. It looks very nice. Highlights the name of the fragrance for you. The Christian Dior logo on top of the cap. And then you have this little concave design on the bottom of the bottle, which I really like. And your badge code is etched into the glass along the rim of the bottom right here. And you do have the little Christian Dior B on the inside of the cap and Christian Dior logo once again on the atomizer. Waste a couple sprays for you guys like always. All right, here we go. Great, like always. Really nice pressurized atomizer, sprays out a lot of fragrance. So, Dior Sauvage. This has always been kind of a controversial line of fragrances, or a little bit divisive. The masses love Dior Sauvage. Huge compliment puller, great performance, ultra versatile. But then you have people that are big time fragrance aficionados who will say, oh, Dior Sauvage, poo-poo, it is boring. And Bloxton, I hate it. Bleh. So you have these kind of two sides that never really agree. Yeah, like, I don't know, literally everything in life. And then along comes Sauvage Elixir right here, and it's different. It's not really what I was expecting. I would say actually it's not what really anybody was expecting when this came out. When you spray it on, it opens up very warm and spicy. So you have nutmeg, you have cinnamon, you have cardamom in the opening. And the cinnamon and nutmeg for me come through a little bit clearer. They're almost on equal footing. Then you have the smallest touch of citrus that sits underneath that spice, but you hardly notice it most of the time when you spray this on. So it's more so just this really slight attempted counterpoint to the warm spices in the opening. It's very smooth right away. It's instantly alluring. So when you spray it on, it's just like, woof. What is that? I mean, it really just pumps out when you spray this stuff on. Everyone is going to notice it. It has this sweetness that comes in maybe 5 minutes in, kind of softens the edges a little bit, and it comes across like this creamy, sort of woodsy licorice sweetness. So it doesn't come across harsh, it doesn't come across bubblegummy or anything like that, but it does have a dose of sweetness along with those woods and spices in the open. After this, the lavender starts to come in and make itself known, and the lavender is going to be one of the big players here. The lavender also reminds me a little bit of how it was used in some fragrances back in the 80s. So the lavender has this slight throwback feel to it, but it doesn't smell like an 80s fragrance because it has different supporting notes all around it. You also get this incense note that's really noticeable, really easy to pick up, kind of wafts through the fragrance. And interestingly, incense as far as I'm aware anyway, is not an official note in the fragrance. So no incense, frankincense, whatever you want to call it. And yet there's definitely a smoky, incensey nuance to it. Through the mid, the fragrance is woody, a little bit smoky. It has almost like a dash of pine in there. Again, that kind of vibe that I pick up reminds me sometimes of some of those throwback older fragrances, even though again, pine, not an official note, just like incense is not an official note, kind of picks some of it up. The spices are still present, but not as prominent as in the opening. And there's also a little whiff, little hint of powder from the amber that's in the base. Once you hit the dry down, this one's an amber woody fragrance with the faintest touch of vetiver. And in the far dry down, you can almost pick up, if you stretch your mind a little bit, that Sauvage DNA from the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum. It just kind of peeks out here and there. You know, you'll smell it and you'll think, yeah, there's just a tiny, tiny bit of that original DNA in here. But it's not enough that most people will be able to pick it out. I would say a lot of people actually would find no similarity whatsoever between this one and the originals. And it's only in the dry down that you can kind of pick up that little bit of the DNA. And I can still pick up wisps of licorice and lavender as well, as long as this thing is on my skin. So overall, it's not really a surprise that this one, just like the other Sauvage fragrances, is a bit divisive, only here it's for a different reason. So the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum, it's divisive because you have, like I said earlier, some people that think it's way too boring and other people that think, man, this is the pinnacle of versatility, I love it. Whereas Sauvage Elixir is going to be divisive because those same people that love the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum and they're expecting something that's, you know, right in line with that, when they smell this, they're going to go, that's not Sauvage, man. That's not what I signed up for. And I paid this much money for it? Sucks. And then you'll have people who think the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum are boring and trash, and they smell this and they go, you know, I like this. This is nice. It's got that little throwback feel to it, great quality to it, not overly bubblegummy, not overly aggressive or abrasive with the metallic ambroxan. This is good. This is the best one. So it's weird. It's like the tables turn when it comes to this one. Now let's talk really quickly about the performance, the seasons, all that good stuff, and I'll let you guys know overall where I stand with it. So in terms of projection, really good, especially in the first couple hours. It is strong. People are going to smell this. If you go heavy with this, you are going to potentially choke people out. You don't have to worry about performance at all. In terms of longevity, 12 plus hours, no issue off skin. And in terms of clothing, I don't know, days, weeks. In terms of seasons, it's going to be more a fall and wintertime fragrance, and that's because of the performance. It's too strong for summer, I feel like, and it is a very woodsy fragrance with those smoky nuances. And yeah, there's a little bit of, you know, creamy sweetness in there to help offset it a bit, but overall this thing is going to be too much for high heat. And in terms of daytime or nighttime use for me, either one split down the middle. I guess you could say it leans maybe a little bit more toward nighttime use. But I think as long as the weather works for you and where you're going, what you're doing, who you're going to be around works for you, the fragrance is going to work. Now, really quickly comparing this to the other Sauvage fragrances, this one is going to run you $155 for 60 milliliters. That is really expensive for a designer fragrance, of course. The Parfum, also $155, but that's for a 100 milliliter size. And I remember when the Parfum came out, I was even saying on video, you know, $155 for 100 milliliters, that is pricey for a designer. Yeah, well, now it's more. Then you have the Eau de Parfum, that's $128 for 100 milliliters, and the Eau de Toilette is $100 for 100 milliliters. And then, like I mentioned before, there's different sizes of those other fragrances, so you can kind of figure out which one you want and how much you're willing to pay. On the whole, the Eau de Toilette is the best-selling version of Dior Sauvage. Again, the most affordable and probably what most people are looking for when they're looking for a Dior Sauvage fragrance, which is just projection, longevity, complement factor, versatility. The Eau de Parfum going to be a little bit richer, a little bit smoother, a little bit sweeter than the Eau de Toilette, but most people seem to prefer the EDT overall. So for me, Sauvage Elixir, how is it? Well, I love this stuff. One of my favorite releases of the year. Actually, I may have even put it as my favorite designer release of the year if I felt like it was maybe a little more versatile for me personally. Now, I'm not saying it is not versatile. Because in fall and winter time, it is. This is a fragrance that you can wear a lot of different places and you're gonna get great feedback. The fragrance is on the whole the most mature of the Dior Sauvage fragrances. It's the most refined, the most grown up, you could say. But with that, I think that it loses slightly some of the versatility that maybe Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum might have. Now, some of you will disagree with me there, and that's fine. But for me, this is more of a special occasion type fragrance. So I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I love the throwback feel that it has, you know, just ever so slightly like little hints, again, callbacks to fragrances from the past. I love that. And then at the same time, you do have that likability, that mass appeal. So for me, Dior Sauvage Elixir, fantastic fragrance, absolutely love it. The price kind of sucks, $155 for 60 milliliters, but at least you're getting something that performs monstrously, so you don't have to spray too much of it on, and it does appear to have very good quality. And for me, it's gonna be interesting to see where Christian Dior goes, because now Francis Kurkdjian has taken over as the in-house perfumer. So what's the next move? You know, Dimash, the person that created so many of these fragrances from Dior that we talk about, he has retired. So Dior is going to be going in a new direction, and it's going to be interesting to see what that direction is. So there we go. Sauvage Elixir, really enjoy it. Surprised the heck out of me. Loved it on first impressions, still do. The only drawback for me is the price, really. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me with Dior Sauvage Elixir. If you've smelled that, let me know what you think about it. As always, thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.